This would be like a quick 30-minute.
Yeah, so I know this is something you've been passionate about, so yeah, you can start the shit off. Go ahead and get your shit off. I don't know if we want to start with the theory we had or just your ideas of why you think it's ridiculous to assume Olsen would betray. But yeah, you can go ahead. However you want to start it,
Not
really.
not that it's ridiculous, okay? Because I am because say Osen's one of my favorite generals, right? Like outside like the monster trio and shit, he's probably like mm, two. Yeah, he's probably like outside the trio, he's probably like number two.
Oh, so Conky number one then?
Nah, Mobu, nigga, come on now. Mobu, come on now. I'm the strongest man in China. Fuck out of here. But like okay, so for me, it's like the idea that Ousen, this dude that's such an intellect, he's been on Quinn 6 level, like back in the Quinn 6 era. He's only grown since then. He's only gotten wiser, only gotten smarter, only you know what I'm saying, only to what I can assume, you know what I'm saying, developed his men more. Right?
Yeah.
If and he's a very secretive man, you know what I'm saying? Like nigga, from what we know, even his own family hasn't seen his face. You know what I'm saying? From what we've seen. So it's like a man that secretive, a man that smart, with already such a high nobility rank within Quinn. It's just crazy to me that if he did have these vast ambitions to become a king, they would be so widely known, right? Because it seems like everybody and their grandmother knows that Ousen wants something, right? Ousen wants to do something.
Mm-hmm.
And I know what people's first like rebuttal is going to be. Oh, but what about the Raboku conversation, right?
Well, I think
My
it's. I'm not gonna say it's that exact situation, but I'm gonna say it's a situation similar to that, to where you can argue for something this grand, he has to take a risk sometime, and then the risk could have just blown up in his face.
mm, but my thing with okay, so my thing with the Raboku thing is I don't think like when Ousen envisions like when he says my kingdom, like I think that Ocean is like Ocean. Ocean is more of a visionary to where he already sees the end goal. You know what I'm saying? And in his eyes, since he's the one conquering the land, it is his kingdom. Not to mention, he's probably going to get a big ass piece of territory for conquering most of China. You know what I'm saying? Or in his eyes, conquering China. So it's like when he envisions his kingdom, it's you know what I'm saying, the unified kingdom. Whether it's Issei at the king, like I'm saying, I don't again, I don't believe that if he truly wanted to take the kingship, that he would have made a play for it when Ryufui was in power. He has a better claim, and he has just as much. I'm assuming he has just as much money. So to me, it's a little bit crazy that this is not like a red herring. You know what I'm saying? Like this is just his like it's the obvious weakness that everybody will bait onto. It's like, oh, if I surrender and tell Ousen I'll do this and surrender and I could trap him. It's like, nah, but that's not you know what I'm saying, that's not gonna work.
All right.
Because that's
Well,
not how like I'm saying, that's not how he really thinks.
one, what makes you say he has like the same claim to it? Because Rio Fui was much more tied into the politics than Osen is, from what we know.
From what we know, he was more directly tied, but Ryufui's whole thing was that he had no nobility. He had no stature within. I mean, like not stature, but he had no like bloodline ties to Quinn. And what I'm saying is, the old family is a noble family. So, given enough political strife, like say for instance, Ryufui did end up killing Sei and Sekio. You know what I'm saying? But it happened early and like there was no Yotanwa help, there was no Shin. Both of them just died. You know what I'm saying? If Osen really wanted to become king, my nigga, he like again, he as a like established Quinn family would have a better claim to say, yo, we will establish a new dynasty as opposed to the merchant lord Ryufui. If he really wanted to do that, he would be. You know what I'm saying? If he really wanted to do it, he would be setting those pieces up. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that I think that's a better argument. My only thing is when comparing how big of a status they have, you have to keep in mind that Rio Fui doesn't have nobility, and he wasn't even chancellor at the time. I don't think, right?
He was chancellor of the right. Like he had or the left. He had like Shohekun or Shabunkin spot, but he wasn't chancellor of state.
Okay, so yeah, he still had a pretty big role, but not the biggest role. But at the
Right.
same time, he had the connections that Olsen didn't have. And like I said, I think the argument you just brought up that like based on who Olsen is, how smart he is, he would probably build them up. But at the same time, I don't know if that was even possible to the same extent as Ryofui, because you have to keep in mind like what the recent chapter showed, like right before the Jugo arc, was Ryofui had so many connections that they said like the amount of people in political power that are on his side trying to get him to revolt, even though he wasn't trying to perpetuate that, it was so much
Hmm.
that it almost rivaled the kin court, or our side basically. Like
Right.
he had connections to so many people that I don't think you can like even compare their political backing.
Okay, so what I'm gonna say to that is one, Chinese niggas, like not to say they fickle, but at least in Kingdom, they can be easily swayed. We saw in like when like the political shit was heavy, how quickly they went from Say to Real Fui just because that nigga threw a party, or from Say and Real Fui to the Queen Mother because you know what I'm saying she had these niggas by the balls or some shit. Like you know what I'm saying. So them royal families can be persuaded. You know what I'm saying? Like they can be like what's the word? They can be they can be persuaded to fucking turn sides and come back. And I'm assuming this right because this is pure speculation on my part, but I'm assuming that the old family, as hyped up as they've been like shown to be in terms of nobility, like as far as we know, outside of Say, they are like they're the most noble of no. You know what I'm saying they're the highest nobles we've seen. So it's like they, you know what I'm saying they don't need like I'm not to say that they wouldn't need other political families, but you know what I'm saying? Their family is already so strong that it's like we don't necessarily need 1,000 other people to come help us.
All right, well, see the thing about that is, yeah, they can be persuaded, but it really depends on what their positions are to begin with, like how close they are to Say, how willing they are to back them. Because when it came to Real Fui, I mean, they were willing to stand with him to the end. They were like bitter about whatever they were bitter about, and even though they could have switched to Say's side and Say would have probably accepted them, it was made
Uh,
to seem like it's such a big deal that even with the situation being this like not terrible, like Real Fui himself wasn't trying to perpetuate it and he was trying to quell it actually, but it was
right.
still such a big issue that like it was like pressing matters. They have to deal with it right now. And then it was even made to seem like if it's this big of a problem in a situation like this, like how are you going to address this when you conquer all of China? Like it's going to be chaos. It's like meant to be one of the biggest obstacles when it comes to conquering China. So it's something that I think is relevant. It's important, and it should
Mm-hmm.
be taken into account. And I guess for Real Fui to have that much loyalty, it speaks volumes as to his political power. Though we don't know if
Nah,
if, if it would be
yeah,
exactly the same back then compared to how it was now, because over the years, over the story, he spent a lot of time establishing himself.
true. But that's what I'm saying. But over those same years, Issei and them went from being pebbles to being content, you know what I'm saying, being rivals that beat him. So it's like, I don't like, in my eyes, it's this. Like, if Osen were to try to take power, one, would those same political niggas have as much anger against Osen as they do Say? Like, we don't even know their reasons for like being against Say. It's just like they salty for losing. But like, would they have the same anger towards Osen? Is number one, and number two, Osen, like nigga, he's the type of nigga. Them niggas would have got killed. Like,
Yeah,
they
you would
would have
have to
got
basically
killed.
assassinate them.
Yeah, that's
I
what I'm saying.
think.
They would have got Kyokai. He'd have hired the whole fucking the Tone Tantan tribes, all 19 of them. It's like, yo, I need you to wipe out, you know what I'm saying, a political faction. Because in Osen's, like again, pure speculations, but in Osen's eyes, I do believe he believes that he can like do shit himself. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, give me all the men, and you know what I'm saying, and I can work out a plan and do it myself. So it might take him a little longer than the 15 years, but
Hmm.
that nigga would be like if Osen was in charge of everything, my nigga, the military and kin would be fucking A1. Because he would treat the like you know what I'm saying, like because at that point he would treat the entire army like it was his army, so the training would be different. Like you know what I'm saying, like all of that shit would be uniform and regulated. Like everybody, like it wouldn't be a point to where like we got niggas like the high shin unit that are just good, but they don't know shit about basic tactics. Like not everybody's gonna have the basics down, my nigga. Even if you instinctual, you still gonna have the basics and tactics to do origins or you know what I'm saying. Like nigga, Osen would have that shit on lock.
Yeah, I just thought about this when you were talking about hiring the assassins, because they're used to Ryofui always doing this shit. So Osen calls up on them and they're like, "So you want us to kind of fuck around, maybe kill them, maybe don't, just to make it fun?" And Osen's like, "Nah, just kill them. Do everything in your power to do it as quickly and
Mm,
efficiently as possible." I'm like, oh damn,
fact.
oh damn.
Like here's all the money you want. I want them dead by tomorrow. Like you know what I'm saying? Like that's what it is. And now whoever the new city is, she's my you know what I'm saying. She's my personal bodyguard. Of my like because ain't that what they wanted? Like they wanted us like they top assassins with like they was getting like royal connections to do royal assassins. I mean like royal assassinations and shit. So
Yeah.
yeah, that would totally work out for the you know what I'm saying to kill what son. If Osen had an army of kill tribe niggas and you try like come on, bro. You
The
wouldn't
thing
come
the
on.
thing also is like he can kill these officials, but like they're gonna know something suspicious was up for someone to gain power that wasn't even close to it beforehand. And like people always assume the worst when it comes to this shit because people are so power hungry that I don't
Mm-hmm.
think the army, like the vast majority of the Kin army, would be on Osen's side. They would need like a believable story, and even then, like if you can make it believable, they want proof or something. Like people
I
don't really stand
mean,
for that shit.
for one, right? It depends on in what timeline he did it in, like what time point he did it in, right? Because if he say like he did it at the height of say in Ryufui's battle and just out of nowhere sent assassins to both of their camps, slaughtered them, it's like nigga, who knows who? Like you know what I'm saying? Who knows who? Like who's to say both sides didn't hire assassins and they both got the job done? And then Osen's just sitting here like, look, I'm the highest noble. I'm staking a claim. Like you know what I'm saying? Again, if he really wanted this, there would be like we would see pieces.
Yeah, it's just interesting what would happen if that was the case because if you're not really at a stake for to even offer yourself to do that, and then both the top two people who are the only two, they both die, and it seems very probable that they offed each other, and it just happened to work out that way. What is the fucking like? What is the method to
What's the
declaring?
protocol?
Yeah, was I don't think there's a protocol. That's the thing. So
I'm about
I
to say,
don't.
say his kids would be too young at that point, and shit. That's assuming the state of I rebellion. Well, I guess the Queen Mother, right? She would take over, and then Osen would clap her.
Yeah, at that point it's like, all right, she got clapped too. There's something going on.
No. I'm saying she would be like she would come out the victor because remember she was there at the coronation or whatever, so she would come out the victor of that shit, right? They kill the kids, they like Ryufui, Osen sends assassins, but he only kills Ryufui and Sei, and then she takes over power, and then Osen makes his claim like, yo, my nigga, like she killed everybody. Look at how she, you know what I'm saying? Osen like flips it on her. I don't fucking know, my nigga. That's what I'm saying. It's like again to me, if the nigga really wanted it, he would have made plays already. Like from what we know about Say's father, he wasn't a very good king. You know what I'm saying? That's why Oki didn't like give him the message from King Show. And we don't even know um damn it, I forgot like oh
Uh,
yeah, we don't even know if Say's father had any like siblings or brothers or anything like that. Like we don't know like how that would have went. So
yeah, at the end of the day, I just think it's fair to say that it's complicated at the very least. How all this shit would have went down. It takes a lot of speculation and there's a lot of things that could go wrong. And I don't think there's like a surefire way to guarantee that you can get the spot. That's what I'm gonna say.
true. But what I'm saying is, right, for everybody that thinks that, oh, Osen's gonna betray, he's really gonna betray, wouldn't it make more sense that he would have those pieces, like at least a few pieces in play to set up the foundation for that, you know what I'm saying, for that overall move?
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I agree with that. So I think we're like kind of in agreement, like not completely, but we pretty much agree with this. So
We
I
don't agree on the reason, but we agree that it's unlikely.
yeah, we don't exactly agree on how unlikely it is, but there isn't that big of a difference for it to really, be relevant. But
Hey, look,
what I
in
was gonna
Osen we trust.
what I was gonna say is that we can move on past that, and it's kind of weird because I think explaining this and then going on to the theories is kind of a weird way to do it But then also talking about the theories, then moving on to what we just talked about is also kind of weird. So there was no right way to do this, so fuck it. But we move on to basically two theories, which the first one, we're basically asking like, why didn't, if he would become king, or him getting this reputation of him wanting to become king, why did
Mm-hmm.
nothing come of it? Why didn't Ousen help the 6UG if, he was really about helping kin and is really just rumors? And so the first one is, I was just saying, then you can go off on it, the Rinshoujo theory. I know people are talking crazy shit about this, him seeing the visions, thinking 20 years ahead, that type of shit.
Nigga, fucking
Who,
nigga
Odo we
Odin from
trust?
One Piece. No,
Oh,
I said
Odin?
he's Odin from One Piece. 20-year visions and shit.
Yep.
Um, damn. Why did like okay? So if it was just rumors, why didn't he? Because the Quinn niggas is paranoid. They still paranoid, my nigga. I don't know where the rumor came from, whether Osen spread it himself or if somebody else spread it and he just never denied it or never, you know what I'm saying? Just whatever the case may be. But
Yeah, but we talked about how they knew he was 6G level, so they had to have fought with him to the point where he got to showcase his skills enough for them to give him that much praise. So around that time, like, he could have just helped them, Around that time, he could have just kept helping them and then started momentum. And I know you said
I
something funny
mean,
when you're like, Osen's like, if I'm not gonna be one of the 60G, I'm not helping y'all. The fuck, I'm getting that
yeah, nah,
credit.
yeah. I was
that's
joking.
that's kind of wild.
Yeah, nah, I was joking about that. Well, half and half. I remember that shit. But I'm gonna say it like this, right? As far as we know, um, what was Shohei Kun's teacher's name? The strategist of the Quinn Six. Like he was the one that
Kosho,
told. Yeah,
Kosho, yeah,
yeah. So he was the one that told Shohei. So I'm assuming that because he said in terms of intellect, he was on the Quinn Six level back then. So I'm
yeah.
assuming that Osen might have been one of his aides. You know what I'm saying? Before he like started working under Mogul, he might have been because Mogul wasn't like making a name for himself back then, at least, right? Because he was like always behind him. So like I think there's a gap in between when he started working for Mogul and he was working for Kosho. And he, you know what I'm saying, he was one of his aides, and that's where he like gained that like knowledge that yo, this nigga is nasty.
So you don't think he proved it on the battlefield at all?
I'm like he might have once or twice, but from what Kosho said, it was just in terms of strategy. Because remember, he was a strategist. He wasn't. He was the only one that wasn't a fighter. So I could see like it being like yo, like you kind of like how Raboku was talking to what was his name Shun Shinkun, the dude from Chu, and he was like yo, I'll be on the tabletops with Kesha. This nigga's nasty. Like I got absolute faith in him. He's my number one. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like it was something like that to where him and Ousen was just going back and forth at the tabletops, and it's like, yo, my nigga, he's like giving me a challenge, so he's definitely on Quinn Six level as a strategist.
Mm-hmm. What about the Oki statement, where he basically told Rempa that Osen and Kanki are both undoubtedly on the 6G level? So that I think that would imply that he saw Osen his work during the time when they were under Mogul, possibly because he's talking about Kanki too.
Yeah, I mean, Oki definitely had his ears to the ground after the Quinn Six era, and he probably, like I'm saying, if Kosho deemed it worthy enough to tell Shohekun about Osen, I'm pretty sure he deemed it worthy enough to tell all the Quinn Six generals, especially with the rumors of Osen wanting to be a king. You know what I'm saying? That would be you know what I'm saying? That would be something that they would have on their radar. It's like, yo, look, that nigga there is fucking nasty. We need to watch out for him because there's rumors that he might want to take over. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
that
for
could have been
sure.
where
But
Osen,
the way I'm seeing it is,
I mean,
like
Oki got that
someone like
information.
Oki would probably need to see it himself, because even that's what Rempa said. Because Oki said
You know what I'm saying? Like
undoubtedly.
he,
What
no,
were you
I'm
gonna
saying,
say?
I'm saying Oki definitely saw it like with the in the Mogul era. You know what I'm saying? Like after the Quinn Six era, and I'm saying I'm saying both. I'm saying he got the info from Kosho, and he saw it. You know what I'm saying? Like just how he went to the Duncan Plains just to view the shit. I'm saying he probably did something like that. Maybe not as flashy, but he probably did something like that for the Mogul fights too.
All right, I thought you were
Probably.
making an argument that it doesn't necessarily have to be that he just heard it from Kosho, but this could be reasoning for why it could have just been that.
No, I'm saying it's both.
No, I know that now,
Again,
but I thought that's what
yeah.
you were saying before.
Oh no. I'm saying yeah. Because like Oki, like again, he was retired, but the nigga was still interested in war. He was still keeping up. So and it's like you said, he knows about Conky, and Conky wasn't around in the sixth Quinn era. He's not that old. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, he was definitely like I say, he probably took like maybe like 5,000 niggas, him in tow, just hide out in the woods while these niggas was doing whatever. Watch Ousen take a couple cities. Watch Conky take a couple cities. You know, like Renko did, but instead of attacking, you know what I'm saying? He was just viewing them niggas.
I would assume it's something more substantial than that, but I'm not exactly sure what it is. But going on the assumption that Ousen was active, at least somewhat, not a lot, but like half of the 6G or something, we're in like 3, 4, or 5 battles with him, and he was not their underling, but he was under them, and they got to saw his work. The assumption that you would say is like, okay, so then Ousen should help them the entire time, and then they should get that shit done. Like with Ousen's help, they could probably unify. And one thing was like people were saying there was shoujo theory where it's like he knew somehow that they wouldn't be able to get it done, even with his help. So he's like, I'm gonna wait 20 years, which I think is pretty crazy to say. Like that's like near clairvoyance type of shit for you to say like matter of factly that type of shit. I don't know. That doesn't sit right with me. But that was a theory that I considered possible before.
You want to hear a stupid theory?
Yeah, go ahead.
Like who holding up is like 23, 25, like 23 to 25 now, right? So like Uho could have like his wife could have just like died and Uho could have just been born. You know what I'm saying? And that could have like fucked with him a little bit. Like fuck, I don't feel like doing this shit right now.
I don't know about that one, player.
That's what I said. It's a stupid theory. That's what I said. It's a stupid one. Like it's just, I had such high hopes for this nigga, and he's. I can already see into the future. He's not what I want.
All right, so let's move on to what we basically made this video for. Then we went over the not, I wouldn't say trash theory, but unlikely theory. So we'll go on to two things that I thought beforehand before I thought the current thing. The meta theories, I'm gonna call it. One, we know that Ousen's family, like long before the Warring States period, they used to like rule over China, and then whatever happened and they lost their rule. So I thought maybe he thinks it's their right to rule, and it was stripped away from them. So the O family has to rule over China again, and that could be a reason why he's like, I have to bring honor back to my family. I have to be the one to take over China and actually rule it. That's a plausible theory. A little bit of history spoilers there, but I don't even know if that's going to be mentioned. I don't think.
I didn't even know. I didn't know that.
You didn't know that? I thought I talked to you about that.
Nah, the old family used to run what, Jin, the state of Jin, because like.
Nah, I'm pretty sure it was all of China. It was like during the Shang era or some bullshit.
Oh, so this is what, like, shit. How far back was that?
I don't know, 500, 1,000 years ago. Like a long ass time.
Yeah, okay, that my nigga. If he, shit, it would have to be 500 years past their current time. So my nigga, if he's trying to get that back, yo, that's the long game. Like
he's like, oh, I see what happened. Okay, y'all thought it was over.
Yo, that's that, bro. That would be such like, wow. It would be some shit if at the end of the day he's like, yeah, the long return of the old dynasty is like my nigga. I don't know, that to me just seems like such a like, especially in this era, my nigga, where states just fall and get absorbed. Like, my nigga, you can't hold on to that. Like, you I don't know. I feel like if that's what, like,
I feel you, but at the same time, with how much importance they place on their name, it's like I could see them thinking they had like their name besmirched or something. Like that was their rightful place, and they got it taken away. And like, not that they have to bring it back, but it's like if you have the ability to bring it back, then that would be bringing honor back to your clan. That's a possibility, at least. That's how I see it. And then another one. Wait, do you want to say anything else about that?
No, I'm just thinking about it. That shit is. Nah, go ahead. Continue.
Another one, which I thought was probably the most likely one, where Ousen's just like, everyone's stupid, me smart, only me fit to rule. That was basically his whole thought process. Everyone's stupid, me smart. I'm the only one worthy of ruling. Which that could be very Ousen like.
I'm telling, but it would be so much better, my nigga. I'm telling you, I feel like if Osen ran the country, everybody in the country, from the peasants, you know what I'm saying? There would be no more bandits. There would be no more slaves. Like, well, I don't know about slaves because I don't like. Nah, I don't know. Osen.
Honestly, I don't think there would be slaves.
All right, so yeah,
That's just
no
how
more
I see it.
bandits. Because like nigga, yo, Conky, round up all the bandits in the areas that we've conquered. Right? They under you. Right? Cool. Because Conky, everybody's still alive. Well, yeah, I'm assuming all the generals are still alive and shit. Right? Except we don't have Yotawa.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, Conky, round up all the bandits. Yo, Mobile, round up all the strong niggas. Is Osen and Toe still alive, or is Toe still is Toe still fucking with us or no?
I don't know. I
My
have no
nigga,
idea.
if Toe is fucking with us, yo, Toe, I need you to gather all the balanced fighters.
I need you to go
Yo,
back to France, get all your people.
yeah, I do. That nigga Toe is not from China, I'm telling you. But yeah, nah, like I feel like everybody would be given a specific role in every, you know what I'm saying, and it would just be more organized. Again, it wouldn't be to the point where individual units don't know no, every unit before they're deployed is going to be drilled in basic tactics. Every unit is going to be drilled in, you know what I'm saying, like combat stances and fighting techniques. It's like, yo, everything would be so much better. I don't
I
want.
feel you.
I don't get why they don't do that now.
They think that bum Shohaken got to unlock, but like not even that. Just like all the politics, he's handling everything at once. It's like the supercomputer that is Osen's brain. Only it's capable of doing all this.
My nigga, the fake supply line, the fucking the fucking the locusts, the fucking spies within the locusts. My nigga, like Osen, son, he thought about that all within like what 3 days, my nigga? No, because it took like no, not even 3 days. That nigga thought about that shit within like fucking 10 minutes. While niggas was fighting to protect him, like Osen's a fucking monster, my nigga. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't fuck
Conky
yo.
wishes.
Yo, that's what I'm saying. I don't understand how niggas can say he's on the same level as nigga. My nigga, Conky sacrificed half his men just to get the job done. This nigga Osen pulled the impossible off and kept all the important members alive.
But yeah, let's not go to that. That's just a little tidbit, just in case Draco happens to listen, just to piss him off a little bit. But yeah, so this is the what I think should be considered the meta theory because I think it ties into the story very well, and it just overall makes the most sense. It's.
I mean, look.
Do you want to go or do you want me to go?
My fault. My fault.
I mean, I don't really care, but
It's like, yo, this nigga. If it's me smart, everybody else dumb.
that's the second most likely because
I,
everyone else dumb and Olsen smart, so he has a point.
I was just about to say I don't knock him on his reasoning. Like,
He
yo,
goes up to present his case of why he should be king after Ryofuyi and Sei dies. Like everyone else dumb, me smart, and they're like, "That's beautiful.
look,
That's beautiful."
so
But
what?
yeah,
What's the most likely situation?
basically, I think the most likely is he saw into King Shou's eyes, and he saw that hint of
Mm-hmm.
childishness. He saw that he didn't know what to do when it comes to unifying China. Like what we were talking about with the Ryofuyi situation, that's just one of many complications that leads to the people being unhappy, civil unrest happening, and just a bunch of shit popping off, and people trying to reclaim the throne or reclaim their own area, and just you think there's peace, but there's actually chaos. And that's technically what happened in real history after China got unified. Chaos ensued, and then all that shit happened again. So there's always
Yeah.
that risk of if you don't do it right, then just shit's about to pop off, and members that you weren't expecting to still keep that bitterness, they do, and a lot of people aren't happy, and shit just goes back to craziness. There's always that possibility, and you can argue it's very high because of how built up unifying the correct way has been made. It's like you have to do
Right.
it the correct way to even have a chance of bringing about the true peace that you want. So I could see
It's
him
like
thinking
building a
that.
house.
I guess if you want to compare to like building a house, it's like building a house. But I could see him
If
seeing
you,
the childishness in King Shou's eyes, because even that's something Oki saw. And it was like one of the best moments in the first arc where he like looked into Sei's eyes and he saw the difference between King Sho and Sei. And so I
Hmm.
guess Osen saw the same thing, and he saw that King Sho wasn't worthy. And I'm guessing like Osen's the type of dude, he told that straight to King Sho's face. He's like, "You're not worthy of leading us to that." And I think King Sho, it's very possible he's the one that started that rumor, just to like not because I don't think he wanted to go as far as to execute Osen. Maybe he thought that would be too far. Like he's close with Oki, and like Osen didn't technically do anything wrong. Though it is an insulting way to talk to him, but he still has a lot of power. He's part of the old family, and people are gonna look at you sideways. Like even as the king, there's a limit to what you could do. So I think
Right.
it's very possible that even King Sho, he was the one that sent that rumor across because he's like, all right, you think I'm not worthy. Like he probably like his defense mechanism probably told him like there's no way
Mm.
he thinks like he's actually right about this. He's just trying to
Right.
cap and
Oh,
like he thinks I'm not
right.
worthy. It's because he wants to be king. That's why.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was just about to say that.
Yeah. So
I can see that. Okay. When you put it like that, I can honestly see. Yeah, I can honestly see that. Like nigga, like he got called up to become a Quinn Six, and it was like, nah, my nigga, you not it. You not the one.
just looked him dead in his
Like
eyes and like you
yeah,
ain't
like
worthy.
you not the one. Like
And
yeah, I
he
can see.
felt some type
That
of
would be
way, you
fucked
know.
up.
He spread the
You
rumor.
know?
He made sure Osen never became too famous, never got that recognition, never got those big battles to prove himself to the extent that Osen would want to. And
Right.
Osen just he's like, all right, I mean this works for me because if I do this regardless, we're not going to unify, and if we do, it's still gonna be a fucked up situation. So it actually works to my advantage that I don't have to work under you and like see
Mhm.
your massacres through to the end. And now with Sei, now's a situation where he's like, okay, maybe like he saw into Sei's eyes, whatever, and we'll probably have a conversation with Olsen and Sei in the future. But
Hopefully.
it would be pretty like impactful if they have a conversation and Olsen tells him you're the one. I trust you. You're that guy, pal. You're that guy.
That would be a great panel. That would
hmm
be a great panel.
I think I think that would be pretty crazy. Like I said, I think it ties into the story very well. It's a good twist to it, and it just makes a lot of sense. And it really hypes up Sei in a nice way. And it might also be like some cool implications with Oki regarding that, because Oki would probably feel some type of way. I don't know if he's even in on that, but you
Oki
know,
definitely felt type of way. He loved the fact that King Show that like you know what I'm saying. He loved the fact that King Show had a childlike eyes. That you
yeah.
know what I'm
But
saying.
at
That's
the
why
same time, I don't think Oki thought of it as in depth as Osun did, so he didn't realize how big of a consequence that trait had.
no, like I the way I looked at it, especially with the Renshojo flashback, it's like it was that quality that bonded them. You know what I'm saying? Because like when Chojo said, "It's like, yo, you have the same childlike eyes as your king." You know what I'm saying? So it's like we both have these eyes. Like that's what drew them together, and it's like their love for war and you know what I'm saying their desire to unify and shit like that. You know what I'm
No,
saying? It just
I
added
agree with
on
you,
to that.
but I think the way that ties in is that they didn't know for sure if they can unify and it'll be successful in bringing peace, but they found like comfort in the fact that everyone cared so deeply about it that despite the fact that they had like feelings of uncertainty, they still cared enough to where they're willing to go through with it.
Hmm. See, I don't think King Show and them had uncertainty. I felt like Bard killed dying and like you know what I'm saying like they didn't expect what was it Kototsu to get injured and one shot or whatever like so it's like
I'm
I
talking
think
about
they had
uncertainty and like the politics of it. Because if Say he was a lot more wise than King Sho even as a kid in the first arc, and like Say now is a completely different beast, like with all his ideas about law and his debate with Ryo Fui, that type of shit. If even Say back then was just like that much more wiser than King Sho, then I think regardless of what happened, even if they managed to conquer all the states, they would have failed, and like chaos would have ensued again because King Sho just didn't know how to approach it correctly.
mm. But I mean it was King Show's message to say that like put him on the right path because even like was when like because I ain't gonna hold you I do feel like before he got that message from Oki about like not enslaving them treating them right I do feel like Say was like, yo, I'm gonna fuck Zhao up. Oh my, like, yo, those niggas don't know what's about to hit them. Like, you know what I'm
I
saying? When I
don't. I think
like,
that's crazy,
like
Ousen.
nah, I think he still
He's
had a
always
little bit
he's
of
always
that.
been like level headed and not about malice.
Not to say that he's about malice, but like there will be certain people he will be getting revenge on. Like if those group of niggas that like tortured him and like was always at his mother's house, like always outside the shack and shit. Like, nah, nigga, if he ever saw them niggas, you'll find those niggas. I know, I remember their faces. I don't care how old
That's
they
a
are.
small group of people. But I think we need to see what
Nah.
exactly the message was. But regardless, it's still the clear implications that King Sho was much more naive than Sei was. And what exactly that
Oh yeah,
entails, like it's hard to say,
definitely.
but like Sei understands. I think the bloodshed, like he understands how severe, how important that is, and he understands like just how fucked up you're gonna make the minds of all the people that got conquered, and
hmm
it's just gonna be an incredibly hard task to, bring them to peace, make them accept
I
what's
feel
happened and
like
not want to revolt.
I feel like the difference between like the major difference between King Sho and Say is that while King Sho like knew like he knew what he was doing was like, you know what I'm saying, causing a lot of bloodshed, but he didn't view himself as a tyrant while doing it. Say is okay and comfortable with people viewing him as a tyrant if that's what needs to be done to unify. I feel like that's the lack of naivete. You know what I'm saying? Well, King Sho just felt like if I do this, everybody will love me after I do this. Where Say knows is like after I do this, there's gonna be plenty of people that hate me, resent me, want to kill me. But this is something that needs to be done for the future of China.
Yeah, but I think that idea itself is pretty much what I'm talking about. Because he's gonna be like,
Right?
yeah,
No, that's what I'm saying.
everyone.
I agree with you.
Oh, okay, okay. So yeah, he's gonna be like, everyone's gonna love me. I brought peace, and then motherfuckers are gonna be in the background like bitter as fuck. Like we're gonna revolt in this exact way, and we're gonna spend every waking second building up our forces, and then we're gonna attack over here. Like shit's not gonna go well. Shit's not
Yeah,
gonna
that
go
yeah,
well.
yeah. I'm about to say that's why. Yeah, that's why I agree with you because it's like I was just like highlighting what like because like when you said like the naivete, it was like yeah, like where but where is it? It's like boom, this is where it is. He had that childlike hope, that gleam that like I'm doing this for the right reasons, but and everybody, you know what I'm saying, everybody's gonna love me. But it's like nah, bruh. And Say doesn't believe. You know what I'm saying? Say has that. What did Conky say? He has fucking cold. He has stone eyes or whatever. Like this nigga is nigga. He's not about that kid shit.
Some shit like that, yeah. And I'd also add that Say probably had some ideas of how to mitigate it. Because I don't think he would just go in blind and be like, I'll figure it out on the way. I don't think they were as advanced as they are now, but he had like inklings of understanding, like good enough to where he's confident his path is the right path.
Yeah. Not only that, but it's like Say and King Show's upbringings were vastly different. I'm assuming. Like
Yeah,
I
I
don't
would
think
assume, yeah.
you know what I'm saying. I don't think King Show was a fucking political hostage for fucking his whole childhood. Well, for the majority of his childhood, you know what I'm saying. So it's like say, although it was rough, you know what I'm saying, it was very fucking traumatizing or whatever. He also got to see what life was like as peasants. You know what I'm saying? Like he got to see like what it's like from both ends. And I can't remember her name, but due to the girl, the merchant chick, you know what I'm saying? He got to see like the good in people in the small folks. So it's like why like I agree, like again, he probably wouldn't kill all of Zal, but like certain niggas is getting fucked up, I'm telling you.
Yo, the Otomo moment, I've burned your face in my memory.
Look, my nigga. The way Say was staring, like just remember how Say was back then, my nigga. Like the just nigga, they punched him in the face because of how he stared, nigga. That is a burning stare, nigga. That like when you stare somebody down like that, yes, nigga. I'm remembering everything about you, nigga. The way your eyes look, the way your fucking the wrinkles on your forehead, your bald head, nigga. Everything. Nigga tattoos, all of that. I'm coming back, nigga. You got it for now. Like you say, you got it for now. I'm small. I'm a kid. You got it. But I ain't always gonna be a kid, and you ain't always gonna be this. You know what I'm saying? You ain't always gonna be this young. Like however old you are, nigga, you an old man. I'm gonna come get you.
We'll get you. But yeah, that pretty much covers what we
Oh
want to talk
man,
about. I'm probably gonna title this something super clickbait, like the ultimate Olsen theory. But kind of worthy of that. Kind of worthy of that, I would say. I think this should be the meta theory, as I was saying. I think it's the most likely scenario, and it's the best way to make sense of all this while still bringing in like an intriguing twist that makes sense and you could theorize and come up with it yourself, but it's also subtle enough to where it's not like the first thing or maybe even the third, fourth thing that would come to your mind. I don't think I've never seen anyone else say this, so you know.
Yeah. I mean, shit. I ain't never hear nobody say. I like I said, I've never heard that the old family ran China. I
Yeah,
gotta look that, my nigga. That's I ain't gonna hold you. If that is the reasons, like, nah, my nigga, we used to have all of this, and I want it back. Like, if that's,
you thought we
I don't
forgot.
know. Yeah, like I don't know. I think that would make Osen kind of petty, my nigga. Like, and like,
Hey
if that's
man.
your sole motivation, that's kind of petty. Like, nigga, we want something back from 500 years ago. Y'all stole that from like, I ain't, like, my forefathers ain't forget. They burnt that shit into everybody memory.
Yo, even better if it was 1,000 years ago. Yo, we 1,000. We ain't forgot. You kidding me? It was only 1,000 years. What you mean?
Which, that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy.
I kind of want
But
it to
yeah, we
happen
can wrap
now.
it up.
To be honest, a little bit.
Nah, I was just thinking the same shit. Like, yo, like, no, no, he's still petty. I don't want it. He's still petty.
I'm gonna say this: if he's the final antagonist, which I think is, it's a little far fetched. Not necessarily a wild theory, but it's a tiny, tiny bit far fetched. Because he's still so OP and he's still so mysterious and he has like build up for him possibly betraying, so it's possible. But I think it's a bit far fetched. But if that's the case, then I think that's a decent way to make him the final enemy in terms of I could see where he's coming from. I don't think that by itself provides enough intrigue or complexity to it, but I still think it's very fitting of his character, so it's cool in that way. And then
Nah,
add in some like probably add in a mix of the two, like me smart, all y'all stupid, and then that too with the whole family ruling China.
yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, I'd rather the me smart, y'all stupid shit, because it's like, my nigga, you holding on to a grudge from 1,000 years ago.
Nah,
Like,
but
come on,
Ozen's
bro.
so cold that he's the type of guy like I'm not even mad. I'm just gonna get what's mine. I'm not even mad though. I'm just
I'm
gonna
not
get what's
even.
mine.
Oh man, that's even worse.
Bro, that's cold. What you mean?
It's
That's
like, yo,
so cold.
nah, I would much rather. Okay, I feel like this, right? If Osen does end up betraying, right? That is his modus operandi. I would much rather him, like I said, him it just being like, yo, I feel like I'm the best ruler. No one like sees the vision. No one has this. I'm saying no one's as smart as me. No one sees the vision. No one knows what it actually takes. I would much rather that than it be, yeah, nigga, my great times fucking 1,000 grandfather used to fucking own this. Nigga, nah, that's
But the thing is, like, there's this certain feeling of you owe your family if your family's that much of a noble family. You know what I mean? Like Ohan, he feels he's born into the family. He owes it to the family to be this great general. Like he has to live up to their expectations. Basically, has like that type of feeling. So Osen could be like born into the family, and it's like been built into him that he has such potential that he can actually make this happen, and it's his duty as the heir of the old family to make it happen. You know what I mean? Like
I get like that's
everyone else is salty about it, and they like kind of instill that into Osen. And he's like, I don't have like particularly like super strong feelings about this, but I'm gonna do this for my family. Y'all took what's rightfully ours.
mm,
He's not
we
even
need to
mad
get
though.
him. He's not even mad. He's chilling. We need to get more info on Olsen. I swear, because it's getting to the point now where it's like all we know about him is that he potentially wants to betray, which I still give like a 10 to 15% chance.
Yeah, we need more Osen info ASAP. We need to see him with Ohan, their dynamics explained or like expanded on, and you know more of his ideas of what's his character like. Does he want to rule? Does he want to help Say rule or whatever? Like I feel like the best dynamic for Osen is him and Say. That's probably the best dynamic for him in the series.
Him and Say and him and Shin. I do want more interactions between him and Shin because I feel like there's. I feel like one, like he's one, like Shin, like kind of like Shohei-kun, like Shin is one of the pieces he wants to recruit, and I feel like there's a lot that Shin and them can learn from him.
Yeah,
Just
but
like,
I don't think his interactions with Shin would add as much to his character as his interactions with
Oh no,
Sei
no,
or
no, yeah.
Rohan.
Eh, I feel like with Uhon is just that like old Chinese thing was like if you like it's not even an old Chinese thing. It's just like that like the it's just like back in that era. It's like if you kill your mother, like you're like a sinful child or whatever. So it's like I just really feel like it's that
Well,
he just
whatever
don't
it
like the nigga.
is, like I don't even think it's that. I just think he's being a stubborn Chinese dad, and he's like, "This is the best way to make you strong. You must be strong," like that type of shit. And I think like if that happens, then there should be some
Oh,
expanding on their relationship where it's like, how do they move on from this now that Ohan is strong? You know?
I mean, is he though? Is he though? Like, nah, I ain't gonna hold you. In Osen's eyes, do you think Osen considers Uhon strong,
I mean,
considering the fact
I think
Shin saved him
anything less than
twice now?
60G level for him is like, if you're like, that's when I acknowledge you when you become 60G level. But I think
Yeah.
Osen's impressed in how young he is compared to how strong he is. So he's like, yeah, like you're on the right track. Like I think that's what he thinks. Other than your tendency to like put yourself into suicidal moments too much, then yeah, you're on the right track. Like your skills are there. You're just a bit too reckless.
Mm. Okay.
But yeah, we could end it at that. Osen the GOAT. Conky is
Definitely
multiple
is.
levels below him. And OP over Conky.
See,